So you're dreaming of owning a home here in California. It can feel like a massive uphill battle, right? But what if I told you there are programs out there designed specifically to help you get over that hill? That's exactly why I put this guide together, to show you how to find and use them. Let's unlock that door to your future home together.
Let's go buy a house.
So, does this sound familiar? You've done everything you're supposed to. You have a good job, you have good credit, you've been saving like crazy, but that down payment, it still feels like this giant, impossible wall. Well, I want you to know you are not alone. This is the biggest hurdle for most of us trying to buy our first home in this state. But here's the good news. There's a key to getting over that wall. It's called down payment assistance, or DPA for short. Now, there are literally dozens of these programs all over California, but they can be kind of like a maze to figure out. So today, we're going to break it all down and create a really clear map for you to follow. All right, so let's break it down to the basics. This assistance really only comes in two main flavors. First, you've got grants, which is pretty much what it sounds like. Free money to help you buy your home. And then you've got loans, which, yeah, you do have to pay back, but they come with some really interesting and helpful twists that we'll get into. To make this super simple, here's how I like to think about it. A grant is the gift. It's just a helping hand to get you into your home, no strings attached. A loan, on the other hand, is the commitment. It's still a massive help, for sure, but it's something you'll have to address down the road. Just getting this simple difference is the key to understanding everything else. Okay, but this is where it gets really interesting. The different kinds of loans. First, you've got your standard repayable loan. It works just like a regular mortgage. But then you have something called the silent second. This is a deferred loan, which means you don't pay a single dime on it until you sell or refinance. And then there's my personal favorite, which I call the golden handcuffs. This is a forgivable loan where the debt literally disappears after you've lived in the home for a certain number of years. Yeah, pretty incredible, right? All right, so now that we've got the basics covered, let's see how this stuff actually works out in the real world. We're going to start with the big statewide programs, the ones that are available to most home buyers pretty much anywhere in California. Think of these as the workhorses of California's DPA programs. You've got CalHFA MyHome, which is that classic silent second we just talked about, no monthly payments. Then there's GSFA Platinum, which is really cool because you don't actually have to be a first-time buyer to qualify. And GSFA Golden Opportunities is this neat little hybrid, giving you a mix of both deferred and forgivable money. And then you have what I call the specialty programs. You've probably heard about the California Dream for All. It's a huge deal. It can give you a massive 20% down payment. The catch? It's a lottery system. And when you sell, you share a piece of your profit with the state. Then you've got highly targeted programs like ReCoverCA, which offers forgivable loans, but only for people affected by specific natural disasters. So those statewide programs are a fantastic place to start. But honestly, the real game changer can often be the local programs. Cities and counties will frequently have even more generous assistance available. So let's zoom in a bit and see what might be out there in your area. Let's take San Francisco as a perfect example. The city has some of the most powerful DPA programs in the entire state, like DALP, which helps low to middle income buyers. They even have a teacher next door program with forgivable loans specifically for educators. It's a great example of how local aid can be tailored to really support a community. And check this out. That DLL program in San Francisco can offer a deferred loan of up to $500,000. Think about that. In one of the most expensive cities in the entire world, that is absolutely life-changing. That's what makes homeownership possible. Okay, now let's look across the bay. You'll find more great programs like Home Access in Alameda and Contra Costa counties. But I want you to look closely at the Oakland MAP program. You'll notice it says it's currently suspended. And you might be asking, why? Well, it's because the funds ran out. And that right there brings us to a huge reality check. These programs are not a bottomless well of money. They get funded, people use the money, and then it's gone. You have to wait for them to get refunded. So the takeaway is this. If you find a program that's right for you, you have to be ready to jump on it. Timing is absolutely everything. All right, let's head down south to Los Angeles. Now, this is a perfect example of why you've got to pay super close attention to the details. The city of LA has its own set of programs, and LA County has a completely different set, so you have to know exactly which jurisdiction your dream home is in, or you could miss out. And you know what? This kind of patchwork of programs is what you'll find all over Southern California and the Central Valley. From San Diego to Riverside, each city, each county has its own unique programs. The most important thing is that now you know these things exist, so you can actually start looking for them. Okay, so you've seen what's possible, and I know what you're probably thinking right about now. This all sounds great, but do I actually qualify for any of it? Well, let's go through the eligibility checklist so you know exactly where you stand. Here it is, your eligibility cheat sheet. First up, income limits. Most of these programs are for low to moderate income households, and that's based on something called the Area Median Income, or AMI. It's just a fancy way of saying it's based on the average income where you want to buy. Second, you have to live in the home, no investment properties. Third, you usually need to be a first-time homebuyer. Fourth, you can expect to take a homebuyer education course. And finally, the most critical one of all, and here it is. You can't just walk into any bank and ask for these programs. Each one has a specific list of approved lenders who are specially trained to handle them. This is absolutely not a do-it-yourself kind of process. Look, I cannot stress this enough. The absolute best thing you can do for yourself is to build a team. You need a real estate agent and a lender who are experts, who live and breathe these programs. They're going to be your guides, and they'll navigate all the complex rules, the paperwork, and the deadlines for you. We've covered a ton of ground today, and now you have a map to homeownership that most people simply don't even know exists. Now, the journey is still a challenge, don't get me wrong, but you are now equipped to navigate it. So the only question left is, are you ready to take that first step and start your journey home?